Major Garrett of the National Journal is on Capitol Hill, where he's covered Congressman Ryan for much of the past 14 years. Great to have you with us, Major. Good morning.
Great to be with you. Good morning.
So how is Ryan's bio going to play on the campaign trail?
Well, that's for the voters to decide, but there's much to go over. As Chip Reed indicated, he's not your average congressman. There is a kinetic energy about Paul Ryan. He's an idea merchant, and he's used those ideas not just to advance his own political career, which lots of people do in Washington, but also harness his own party and move it in a different direction than it was going under President George W. Bush. Now, Paul Ryan voted for some of the things that have now become unpopular in the Bush legacy, the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. He voted for the Medicare Part D, which is an unfunded entitlement benefit providing prescription drug coverage to seniors. Some conservatives have found fault with that. But since then, Paul Ryan has led the charge against earmarks, reforming Medicare in the way he thinks can save it for the future. Democrats disagree. But Paul Ryan has not only been personally ambitious, he's been ambitious on behalf of ideas and persuaded his party to follow those same paths.
Major, Romney has made a point of advertising his lengthy private sector experience. It's a critical part of his resume. At the same time, his running mate now has had almost no private sector experience. He worked in the family business. I think he had a couple of think tank jobs and went into Congress at 28. Is that going to be a problem? Is he going to be billed as a Washington insider?
Well, I think it's a complication for the Romney campaign, and they will address it in their own way. But look, what Mitt Romney was telling the country is Washington-based ideologues and Washington careerists are bad for the country. Well, whatever you think about Paul Ryan personally or his biography, he is both of those things. He's a careerist here in Washington, and he's an ideologue. Now, what Romney will say is, well, he's got my kind of ideology. I'm comfortable with that. But in the main, he can no longer run universally against Washington and its ills because he now has a careerist alongside.
Major, I wish my wife would describe me as low maintenance, but in fact, that's what Janet said about him. Help me understand, because I understand that as a spotlight begins to shine on her, that she is every bit quite his equal.
Absolutely. Look, I've only had two brief encounters with the two of them at social events, one in California, one here in Washington. And the thing that struck me about it is they are very compatible with each other. Janet does not shrink away from conversation, talks about the law, economics, and budget, not with the same specificity or passion as her husband. But she can mix it up very well and doesn't defer and is not a shrinking violet in any way. And he seems to be completely comfortable with that. And that's obviously an important dynamic to their relationship and their marriage and the way they raise their kids.
So, Major, when we're forecasting the future, are we going to then see more of Jana on the campaign trail?
Well, I think they're a great couple. She will be a terrific asset. I think you might see her and Ann Romney together. The dynamic between Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney is very strong. Personally, they get together, and even Mitt Romney overruled the advice of some of his advisors who wanted to be more cautious and not take Paul Ryan. He did that for personal and ideological and political reasons. They get together. They're compatible. Their wives are. I think we'll see a lot of them on the campaign trail.
Major Garrett, thanks so much.